So I got a quick update for you for a story I gave you earlier in the day about a longtime PlayStation fan who has been a member for PlayStation Network for over 7 years and who found himself banned after playing Overwatch for 3 days. Now, if you want the full rundown on the story, I suggest that you go back, watch that other video that I did. I'll have a link down below. But long story short, Sony banned this guy because of his real name. His real name is Jihad, which is a common Arabic name. Not everybody interprets the name to mean holy war. So yes, he did provide proof that this was his actual name. And again, he's had this account for like 7 years. He's bought tons of games with it and everything else. So Sony reached out, offered to let him change his name, and then they reneged on the deal and then told him that he was going to just be permanently banned and they didn't care if this was his real name or not. Now, this of course means that he would lose 7 years of games that he's downloaded as well as his history as a gamer. So to me, it was pretty much theft as far as the way that I saw it. So I told you the story was going viral and that the mainstream media sites were starting to pick it up. And so I saw it popping up on several different sites, including Game Informer, the Wall Street Journal, Kotaku. So after Sony support saw the shit that they had stepped in and the backlash, they reached out to this guy on Twitter, called him up, and told him they had decided to let him change his name. Which, I mean, I guess is better than nothing. They're at least offering him the original offer that they had laid out on the table. But it's still kind of shitty, if you ask me, that they don't let him just keep his name. Especially considering this tweet right here. This is a developer who did a search for the name Jihad on PlayStation Network and found almost 10,000 users that had the same sort of name in their PlayStation ID. So why, haven't all these people been banned? So the PlayStation rep claimed that their automated system had picked up on his name. But if that's the case, why did it take 7 years to do it, And again, why are all these other accounts still active? So I find that a little bit hard to believe. I think probably somebody maybe got their ass kicked and reported his name or something online like that. So Jihad has updated his original post to say that Sony did change his name to G, and that it only took less than 5 seconds to actually do it. So I don't know why Sony was fighting so hard for something that takes less than 5 seconds to fix. But there was a price to pay. So for starters, it wiped out all of his chat messages between friends, wiped out all of his social events, wiped out all of his friends, and it also wiped out all of his trophies. So I mean, it's like he hasn't even been playing before on PlayStation, which kind of sucks because some people, really look after that and they're proud of their accomplishments in certain games. But I mean, at least he got his games back. But it's still a horrible move for Sony. And for those of you who would jump to Sony to praise them, say, hey, look, Sony saw the mistake that they had made and they jumped in to go fix it right away. Keep this in mind. This ban took place almost a month ago. This guy has been fighting support ever since then, and they weren't going to do anything. In fact, they had already made the decision that this guy was going to be permabanned until the media spotlight shined it on Sony and forced them to. They don't want the bad PR, so they make sure to make it right with this particular guy so the story dies down. But social media, gets a bad rep sometimes, but this is one of the times you should be thankful that we have it, because you could wake up one day and find yourself in the same sort of situation as another gamer who's being taken advantage of by a corporation that doesn't give two shits about you. So at least with social media, it does give you a platform to sort of fight back. Of course, there's always people and accounts that fall through the cracks every day. There's always stories that we never hear about. But for this guy, it worked out. So post below, should Sony have let him keep his name, as I think should have been the case, especially considering there's around 10,000 people who also have that same name? Or should this guy have been forced to create a new name, which is what Sony ended up doing? So that does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.